This is Matt with Hologram Electronics, and today I've got a drum machine, Microcosm and Chroma Console. The output of that is going into Microcosm, and the output of Microcosm is going into Chroma Console. One more thing to note is that we are clocking both Microcosm and Chroma Console with the Digitact, so all of its time-based effects will stay in time with whatever pattern we're playing on the Digitact. As you heard from the intro, there are a lot of different sounds going on here, so I kind of want to break it down, start from the beginning, and work towards our finished patch, or patches, I should say. First, let's hear the drum loop without any effects. Engage Chroma Console. Turn up that doubler effect. And then lastly, Collage. Briefly going over this patch, we start the signal chain with filter. I've got it set to tilt filter, so in the middle it's neutral, but tilted to the right a little bit just to brighten up the drums. Then going into sweeten, which is compressing and saturating the drum bus a little bit. Sounds really good. That's then going into doubler and then into Collage. But I want to take a second to talk a little bit about Collage because it is a unique effect within the diffusion module. To demonstrate what Collage is doing, I have this simple synth pattern here. Amount acts as feedback. We turn drift up. We start to hear some double speed loops thrown into the mix. And some really interesting things happen when you move the time knob as well. So if we just record that knob movement with gesture, right? But it clearly becomes more interesting once you throw more material into it. So here I've got the drum pattern again, but I'm taking out the kick and the snare. So it's kind of like ratcheting the hi-hats and the percussion in this cool way, but always staying in time because again, it's being clocked by the Digitact. Yeah, so that's basically it for the Chroma Console patch. Now let's talk about what's going on with Microcosm. Today I'm going to be using the tunnel presets, which are super unique Microcosm effects. The tunnel presets use envelope tracking to grab bits of your playing and reprocess one sample at a time. Some of the effects that the tunnel presets make kind of sound like time stretching a little bit, kind of zooming in on one granule of sound and expanding it. So let's hear that same synth patch and hear what tunnel is doing. Let's go ahead and use the hold sampler and stop this. You can hear it has latched on to that most recent sample. And let's kind of hear what activity does. So all the way down, we hear some panning going around, but it's not nearly as dense sounding. Right now, all this like weird, I don't really know how to describe this sound, but it's really cool. And low-key, I think that these tunnel effects are really, really cool on drums. I think that they are sleeper effects for percussion type loops, especially when synced. And now let's go back to the drum pattern, but again, take out the kick and the snare and just hear what the hi-hats and the percussion are doing. So there it is, dry. You can hear how well it's tracking all of the samples here. The activity knob is especially fun to play because you can go from like these kind of ratchets to, again, whatever the hell that is. Now that we've got our patches sorted out on both the Microcosm and Chroma Console, let's just jam on this drum loop a little bit.